Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait, the earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall. We built the pyramids. Math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a big bang.
How has the evolution of human being been? Human evolution or humanization is the gradual and historical process of biological change of our most primitive ancestor of the human being until the appearance of our species as we know it today. This process took place 5 or 7 million years ago on the African continent with the emergence of the most common ancestor between humans and chimpanzees. When we refer to human beings, we refer to Homo sapiens, although we are not the only members of the genus Homo. Before us, there were numerous species that are now extinct that present numerous physical, biological, and behavioral similarities. Human evolution had its starting point when a population of primates in Africa split into two independently evolved lineages, one of which remained in the trees, while another of them migrated to the plains. Human evolution includes the emergence of the following species: common ancestor, Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis, Homo sapiens, and Homo sapiens sapiens. Australopithecus characteristics: they were small and thin, with a height of between 1.20 and 1.4 meters in height. He had a very similar to that of today's apes, and compared to ours, it would be 35% lower. His arms are long and robust to be able to hold and move between the branches of the trees. He also possessed the ability to grasp and hold objects with a precision comparable to that of humans, an essential requirement for making tools. The early Australopithecus passed on their hunting and tool-making skills to be young. By example, imitative behavior is a characteristic of hominoids in general and hominids in particular. This prior the basic natural selection for brain development.
Homo habilis characteristics. Homo habilis is characterized by having a more rounded skull than its predecessors, as well as an increase in brain capacity, with an increase of between 50 and 100 cubic centimeters compared to Australopithecus. Regarding its height and weight, Homo habilis had an height of between 1.2 and 1.4 meters and a weight of between 40 and 50 kilos. Its social structure was hierarchical, by a dominant male and other males and females. An attempt was made to establish a specialization of work, that is, a specific task was assigned to each member of the clan.
Homo erectus characteristics: they had a body and a wide jaw, approximate height of 1.7 meters, the males weighing 65 kilograms and the females 45 kilograms. They were omnivores. It was very robust and tall, up to 1.80 meters in size. Recently found evidence asserts that fire began to dominate. He lived by hunting and scavenging and gathering grasses and vegetables. It was nomadic, so the hunts found can be interpreted as places where a part of the group performs a specific task: hunting, cutting, or carving instruments for a short period of time. Homo neanderthalis characteristics: they had a wide rib cage and broad finite noses. It denotes a robust musculature that surely gave it much more strength than Homo sapiens and a much more developed sense of smell. They possess an elongated skull and prominent teeth. Similarly, the forehead was low and sloping, with prominent supraorbital arches. The jaw lacked a chin, and they had considerable cranial capacity. They were a brutal, stocky group of primitive humans who could only grunt to communicate and slam their stick at anyone who got too close. Homo sapiens characteristics: It had a bipedal position and a cranial configuration similar to that of its predecessor species. It had a large brain capacity and a retracted jaw size with a smaller muscle mass than its predecessor species. They had strong hands and arms and a very strong teeth for ripping flesh and holding objects. Physically, therefore, he was quite similar to us. It had an advanced language and communication system, thanks to its adaptability, its cultural superiority, and its evolved social organization. The Homo sapiens population soon began to grow and spread successfully to other regions of Africa and Eurasia. Homo sapiens sapiens, or the Cro-Magnon man characteristics. They had an average height of 1.85 meters. He had a broad nose, long forehead, and a strong chin with a distinctive upper jaw. He was much better physically endowed than Neanderthal men, making him more efficient at hunting and fishing. They had the ability to build and use tools with bones, stones, and wood. This transformed them into the great hunters. They learned to recognize the seasons of the year in relation to crops, which would later mean the beginning of agriculture. Human beings in the future. Possible characteristics. Many researchers agree that the humans of the future probably lack of certain body structures that have lost their function or that, today, cause more problems than solving them. This could be the case with the tonsils, wisdom teeth, coccyx, and appendix. Scientists believe that human evolution is far from over. One of the more interesting hypotheses was published just a few weeks ago, and this says that the women of the future will be shorter, 2 centimeters less, plumper, 2 kilos more, and more fertile. In addition, they will have a healthier hair than that of today's women. Everything that already for the year 2409. Brain size. It is believed that it will be smaller because of the use of technology and reducing manual activities, although that doesn't mean we will have less capacity to think. Thumb size. Recent reports show that there's a whole generation of teenagers without overdeveloped thumbs due to playing too many video games. Muscles are able to adapt through excessive physical use, but this is not genetic. An individual may develop such as characteristic, but will not pass this on to any offspring. Recent investigation by the University of Sunshine Coast revealed a strange phenomenon called the external occipital protrusion that is located above the neck, exactly at the base of the skull, which supports the weight of the skull when looking down to look at the cell phone screen and affects mostly young people as a result of the position that humans use to look at the cell phone. Toll-free forwarding .com turning into images a representation of what the human body will be like in the future if the use of technology continues as it is today. They created Mindy, a human being from the year 3000 who looks hunched over with a thicker skull, a smaller brain, and claw-like hands.
Conclusion of Mariana. I learned that we humans have evolved and will continue to evolve as time goes on. Those changes have been physical and behavioral. Among the physical changes that I find most relevant are the following: the change of the upright position of the body and development and increase of the size of the brain. In the behavioral changes, the modification in the diet in which meat was included when they learned to hunt is observed, as well as the acquisition of manual and social skills, which favored development and allowed them to adapt and survive the new scenarios. The genus Homo has been very successful, having survived extreme climatic conditions and having survived difficulties such as extreme cooling and the North and South Poles, having conquered all the continents. We will continue to evolve. Hi, I'm Amber and this is my conclusion. While I was making this project and looking for information, I noticed that humans will never be exactly as in other times. But what is true is that nowadays we are becoming all alike. We all spend our time doing the same, and in the future it is certain we will develop but also lose abilities, which will have an impact in future generations. Maybe not by genetics, but by our way of living.
By the process of making this project, I realized about all the changes that humans' body have made and the changes that are coming in the future. I learned how the body adapts and evolves to how are we living and how in the future the body will be more efficient and will adapt to our daily activities and form of life.